This is a recap for Monday, February 1st. And we started today with looking at last week's CAMI, week 17 CAMI, because we didn't look at it last week. And so the answer key for CAMI, week 17 CAMI, is going to be in today's recap and in tomorrow's recap. So here's the first two pages. So the target is identify units of measure, and then by the way, if I go too fast on this, just stop, hit pause, and then move forward. But we really lightened up this CAMI and you don't have to get all of the information. You don't have to get every customary unit of length, but we just put some examples in. So some US way of measuring length, we use feet, inches, yards, miles. Those are some examples. The metric unit, just look how much more organized it is. Everything has a meter. So if I just get my highlighter, I can just look at a meter in all of these units. It has kilometer, inch, 1,000 meters, centimeter, 100th of a meter. There's decameters, there's heptameters. You just have to know what the prefix is. So maybe tomorrow in the recap, excuse me, tomorrow in the recap, I will put a chart for you, or somewhere I'll put a chart, maybe under Math 7 resources, what all the different prefixes mean. Like kilo means 1,000, milli means 1,000th. For angles, a line has 180 degrees, and a circle has 360 degrees, and you use a compass to create lines and angles and a protractor to measure them. And I asked students today for different ways that we measure time. Sundial was definitely the most creative, but we use also seconds and minutes and hours and days and months and years and millennia and milliseconds. Our metric way to measure mass is the base is a gram, and so you'll see grams in all of these answers, milligrams, kilograms. And for customary, there is no base. There's pounds and ounces and tons. For volume, the standard US way to measure are in gallons and fluid ounces and cups and quarts and pints. And liters is the metric. And again, look at how organized it has a liter, the word liter, in every single unit of measurement. When you are converting from a larger unit to a smaller unit, for example, from yards to feet, yards are bigger than feet, you multiply. And when converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit, for example, from ounces to pounds, then you divide. So I multiplied the 4 yards by 3 feet per yard to get 12 feet. And I divided 48 ounces by 16 ounces per pound to get 3 pounds. And then tomorrow we're going to get the answers to page 3, which is just choosing the more reasonable estimate. And then we're going to need a chart here so we know how many inches in a foot, how many pounds in a ton, and so forth. And then that chart will really help, the metric chart. So we know what centi means, and we know what milli means, and we know what kilo means. There is no such chart for miles and inches. And I mean, there's a chart, but it's not a prefix chart. So we'll get all the information we need to finish that out, and then we will continue with page 4, page 5. We might not finish that tomorrow. We may go into Wednesday. We'll take our time on that. So that's the looking back. Now the current work that we did was in ratios and rates. And so in order to talk about that, I just took a screenshot of the video. And a ratio is a comparison of quantities. We wrote that down. And quantities is another word for numbers. And so if we had the number of pens to the number of pencils, we want to compare that. And we had 1 to 5. Let me pull out my tool here where I can write on the top of this. And let's say that we had one pen for every 3 pencils. So that for every 3 is an important idea on that. One pen for every 3 pencils. Then if we had 2 pens, we'd have 6 pencils. If we had 3 pens, we'd have 9 pencils. So there's 2 ways that we can think about this. And same down here. For every 4 dogs, we've got 6 cats. If we have 8 dogs, we have 12 cats. If we have 24 dogs, we have 36 cats. So there's 2 ways to fill these tables out. One is going this direction with addition. That's, we add 1. If we add 1 here, we add 3 here. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, so we're doing kind of a, excuse me, a plus 1 on all these, and a plus 3 on all these. The other way to think about it is finding a multiplier and really seeing these as equivalent ratios. So I kind of like this way better because that's really the fraction 4/6, which is equal to 2/3. So really all the other fractions are equivalent to 2/3. So 2 times 4 is equal to 8. So to get this number, I do 3 times 4, and I get 12. So if I just stack them all up against 2/3, and let's say I was trying to find this 36, and I wanted to know, how do I find that? And I had a 24 here. I can just find the multiplier. This is times 12, so this is times 12. So that's 36. So I think this is a way that's going to work out better using a multiplier rather than, this might be just a way to start thinking about it, but we're going to try to move to a multiplier. So we'll continue that tomorrow. That is today's wrap up for Monday, February 1st.